High in the heavens, far above the clouds, lies a place unlike any other. This is a realm where the earth meets the sky, a majestic expanse that stretches as far as the eye can see. This is the Tibetan Plateau, a vast elevated region in Central Asia. It's a land of soaring peaks and vast, wind-swept plains, where the landscape is both rugged and awe-inspiring. The air is thin and cold, a constant reminder of the altitude and the harsh conditions that prevail here. This is a place of extremes, where temperatures can plummet to bone-chilling lows and the weather can change in an instant. We call it the roof of the world, a fitting name for a place that sits so high above the rest of the planet. But it has another name, one that speaks to its importance for the planet, the third pole. This title underscores its critical role in the global climate system. The Tibetan Plateau earns this title because it holds the largest store of ice and snow outside the polar regions. These glaciers and ice fields are crucial for maintaining the Earth's climate balance. These frozen reserves are a lifeline for billions of people across Asia, providing essential water resources for countless communities. They feed mighty rivers like the Yangtze, the Mekong, and the Ganges, which flow down from the mountains to sustain life in the valleys below. These waterways sustain life, providing water for drinking, irrigation, and industry. They are the arteries that nourish the land and its people. The plateau is a place of breathtaking beauty, where nature's grandeur is on full display. Towering mountains pierce the sky, their slopes cloaked in pristine white, standing as silent sentinels over the land. Glaciers, like rivers of ice, flow slowly down from the heights, carving out valleys and shaping the landscape as they go. Crystal clear lakes reflect the azure sky, their surfaces undisturbed by the winds that whip across the high plains. These lakes are like mirrors, capturing the beauty of the heavens above. This is a landscape that has been shaped by the forces of nature over millennia, a testament to the power of erosion and weathering. It is a place of immense power and fragility, where the balance of the ecosystem is delicate and easily disrupted. This stark reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth is ever present here, in the thin air and rugged terrain. And it is a place that is now under threat from a force unlike any other climate change. The melting glaciers and changing weather patterns are a clear sign of the impact of global warming on this fragile environment. Communities here are adapting to these changes, finding new ways to live in harmony with their changing environment. Efforts to preserve this unique landscape are more important than ever. There is hope as people come together to protect the roof of the world, ensuring that its beauty and resources endure for generations to come. The Tibetan Plateau is often called the Water Tower of Asia. This name highlights its crucial role in the continent's water cycle. The vast network of glaciers and snowfields acts like a giant reservoir, storing water during the wet season and releasing it gradually throughout the year. This steady flow is essential for the livelihoods of billions of people downstream. The glaciers, in particular, are a vital source of fresh water. These frozen rivers, some stretching for miles, form as snow accumulates over centuries, compacting under its own weight. As temperatures rise in the spring and summer, the glaciers melt, feeding the rivers that snake across the Asian continent. This delicate balance between snowfall, ice melt, and river flow is essential for the health of the entire region. Farmers depend on the predictable arrival of meltwater to irrigate their crops. Cities rely on the rivers for drinking water and sanitation, and industries depend on a steady supply of water for manufacturing and energy production. The Tibetan Plateau's freshwater reserves are not just important for Asia. They have global significance. The rivers that originate here flow into some of the world's most populous countries, including China, India, and Bangladesh. These nations rely on the water from the third pole to sustain their economies and support their growing populations. From the heights of the Tibetan Plateau, a majestic and ancient land, a network of rivers spreads out like arteries, weaving through the landscape with a purpose, carrying life-giving water across the continent. These are not just any rivers. They are the lifeblood of Asia, essential to the very fabric of life here, sustaining ecosystems, cultures, and economies for millennia. These rivers have shaped the land and the people who live by their banks. The Yangtze, the Yellow, the Mekong, the Brahmaputra, the Ganges, the Indus. These names resonate with history and are etched into the fabric of human civilization. They have witnessed the rise and fall of empires. The Yangtze, the longest river in Asia, is a testament to the power and endurance of nature, winding its way from the glaciers of the Tibetan Plateau to the East China Sea. It traverses a journey of over 6,300 kilometers. It is a lifeline for hundreds of millions of people, providing not just water, but a way of life, providing water for agriculture, industry, and transportation. The river's waters irrigate fields, power industries, and transport goods. The Mekong, another mighty river, flows through 6 countries, each with its own unique relationship to the river, supporting a rich tapestry of life from the highlands of Tibet to the fertile delta of Vietnam. Its waters are home to an incredible diversity of species. The Ganges, a sacred river for Hindus, is more than just a river. It is a symbol of purity and life, born from the Gangotri Glacier high in the Himalayas. It flows through the heart of India. It is a source of spiritual sustenance and physical nourishment for millions. The river is central to the daily lives and rituals of the people. The Indus, flowing through the heart of Pakistan, is a river of legends and history, is the cradle of one of the world's oldest civilizations. The ancient Indus Valley civilization thrived on its banks. These rivers are more than just waterways. They are the veins of the continent. They are cultural icons, spiritual symbols, and economic engines. They inspire art, literature, and music. They connect people across vast distances, creating bonds that transcend borders, fostering trade, cultural exchange, and shared destinies. These rivers have been the lifelines of trade routes for centuries. The fate of these rivers is inextricably linked to the health of the Tibetan Plateau, a region often called the Third Pole due to its vast ice reserves, the source of their lifeblood. As the glaciers melt, the future of these rivers hangs in the balance, impacting millions who depend on them. The Tibetan Plateau is not just a frozen wasteland. It is a land of extremes, where the altitude and climate create a unique environment that is both beautiful and harsh. It is home to a rich tapestry of life, adapted to the harsh conditions of this high-altitude environment. From the smallest insects to the largest mammals, every creature here has evolved to survive in this challenging landscape. Tibetan nomads, for centuries, have roamed the vast plains, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. These nomads have developed a deep connection with the land, understanding its cycles and respecting its power. Yaks graze on the sparse vegetation, their thick coats providing insulation against the biting wind. These animals are not just livestock, they are integral to the nomadic way of life, providing milk, meat, and wool. Snow leopards, elusive and majestic, prowl the high peaks, their spotted fur blending seamlessly with the rocky terrain. These predators are a symbol of the wild, untamed nature of the plateau. The people of the plateau have developed a deep respect for the delicate balance of their environment. Their agricultural practices are designed to work in harmony with the land, ensuring sustainability for future generations. Their traditional practices, honed over generations, reflect a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all living things. From weaving to herding, every task is performed with a mindfulness of its impact on the environment. But even their resilience is being tested by the unprecedented changes sweeping across the plateau. The weather is becoming more unpredictable, and the seasons are shifting in ways that are difficult to adapt to. Climate change is transforming the Tibetan Plateau at an alarming rate. The glaciers, which have been a reliable source of water for centuries, are melting faster than ever before. Temperatures are rising faster here than the global average, causing glaciers to melt at an unprecedented pace. Scientists are racing to understand the full impact of these changes and to find ways to mitigate their effects. The once predictable patterns of snowfall and meltwater are becoming erratic, disrupting traditional ways of life and threatening the livelihoods of millions. Water sources that were once reliable are now unpredictable, making it difficult for communities to plan for the future. The consequences of these changes are far-reaching. As glaciers recede, the flow of rivers is becoming more variable, leading to more frequent and severe floods and droughts. This variability is creating new challenges for the people who depend on these rivers for their water supply. As glaciers recede, the flow of rivers is becoming more variable, leading to more frequent and severe floods and droughts. This unpredictability has dire implications for food security, water resources, and energy production, not just on the plateau, but for the entire region. This unpredictability has dire implications for food security, water resources, and energy production, not just on the plateau, but for the entire region. The people of the Tibetan Plateau are facing a future that is uncertain and challenging, but their resilience and deep connection to the land give hope that they will find ways to adapt and thrive.